Let's head down, though, and talk to some of the regulars, and probably start things off with the actual dealer. This is still the second floor, right? Yeah. Um, maybe. What's that to you? I mean, well, no, I have no idea who that is. Never heard of him. You.
May I?
Why not?
Not that. That, at some point, maybe. But I think, I mean, we do have the, like, if it's going to be Gwent, and it might be Gwent, or it might be some other more actually poker-like game, I honestly don't know yet, then there is the Gwent High Stakes that we heard about, of course. That is one of our quests, so this might be what that's all about.
I'll come back later.
Was wondering if the dealer would have any more information for us, and the answer could be yes if we were to be more direct, but we don't want to do that. I actually just wanted to speak to you, not dramatically unignite the light right next to you. These people? No. No.
Don't bother me, please.
And no. Okay, so maybe we do just play with the people on the second floor there.
Sir, I beg your pardon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You'll not find much to do in Novigrad.
You really should say you'll not find much to do in Novigrad? That one's silly. Okay, so let's talk to this guy that we spoke to previously. We'll actually play him this time.
Hello again.
Got the urge to play, have you?
This time. Let's do it. Ooh, yeah, that is about 10 times higher stakes than we would normally be playing. So, interesting. It might mean these are going to be tough games. I assume it's Gwent?
If you insist.
I believe I will plow your ass like a cheap horse.
Excuse you. Yes, that is the case. It is going to be Gwent. So, not going to have a game of dice poker all of a sudden or anything like that, fortunately. So, I think we're definitely going to want to go with Northern Realms. This is perhaps not the best time to start to experiment with other decks at the moment, what with this being, like we said, higher stakes than previous games. Maybe even could play this guy multiple times if we find that we're successful here, and it could be a way to somewhat sustainably get some more coins, but let's just take it one game at a time for now. How's our deck look? We have one spy. We have one of the Blue Stripes commanders. Remember, these are guys we want multiple of. And, oh, we have two catapults. That is huge. Those also get doubled when you play two of them together, and they're already 8 power. So, and we do have Roach as well. We have our medic. Wow, we have a very strong hand here. We don't have a second one of these guys, so I think we swap him out. Zoltan is remarkably unremarkable. We have precisely 0 ranged units, is that correct? That is correct. So that means Commander's Horn, we can use this one for the melee row. We can use our leader ability for the siege row. And we have no need for one in the range row, unless, say, we were to play our spy and draw a range card, which is probably pretty likely given how you might find that most of the stuff in our deck is ranged, because none of it's here. I do like this, though. Maybe we just try re-rolling Zoltan one more time, and with it, we get a Commander's Horn, which, as I was saying, not terribly relevant here. Okay, so they play a spy. We don't have a decoy. Darn. Okay, so we could play our own spy, and our spy is a little bit better than theirs in that they will have 5 strength, we'll have 7. So we'll still have a little bit of an advantage here. And we did draw a decoy, so we could steal their spy. If they have a better spy, it'd be better to take him, of course. What was the other card that we drew, though? Oh, we drew this guy back. Okay, so not great. So we could perhaps deliberately lose this round by stealing the spy, replaying him, then having hopefully pretty decent card advantage for rounds 2 and 3, because especially with us having exclusively melee and siege cards, and Commander's Horns, at least for, yeah, both those things, might make sense for us to go all-out melee in one round and all-out siege in the other, but there's no real third round scenario. Like, since we have Commander's Horns, we want to play all of our melee cards in the same round, so that we're doubling as many cards as possible. Same thing with siege. So, I think we probably... I mean, the alternative to doing this right now and stealing the spy would be to use this on our medic later, which would allow us to replay a card. This will go to our graveyard, so we could even replay the spy that way. Except, the thing is, then we'll be playing a spy with 7 strength on our opponent's side of the field on a round in which we probably will be trying to win. So if we are committing to losing this round, then this is probably the best time to do this. So let's do it. Our opponent arguably might pass here. It's a decent time to do it. They're looking at our hand, which is also just still so weird for a computer, but let's play the spy. They're going to have a lot of strength. And we did draw. We drew 2 of these guys here. So they're the ones that double in the range row. So now this is an interesting question. We do actually have enough Commander's Horns that we could double these guys in the range row. So they would be, we play them together, 10 strength apiece, giving us 20 total. And if we play this, we double them, bring them up to 40 strength, which, if our opponent played 0 cards from here on out, would be enough. If our opponent does not do that and continues to play more cards, then they could very well still win, but don't really want to play the range and the melee, or the range and the siege on the same turn. Oh, one thing we could do, though, we could play Roach, because remember, he being a hero does not get affected by any special cards, so if they have a Scorch, it won't delete him. We also wouldn't be able to double him with our own Commander's Horns. There's no reason to save him, per se, unless we really wanted to make sure we had as much strength as possible for rounds 2 and 3, which is important, yes. We just want to basically have our opponent overcommit as much as possible here. So how do we do that? Do we pass now and just say, forget it, we'll take our free card advantage and leave it at that? Or do we say, try to get clever and play more? But I think we leave it at this. This is a pretty decent place to be. We hope our opponent does not have more spies. So if they do, then our perceived card advantage may not actually be a card advantage after all. No, they don't have a spy. We will legitimately have a card advantage here, at least to start off. Letho is, of course, also a hero. So, why don't we say, counter with our own hero, that way if they are planning on using a Scorch immediately, they won't have an automatic way to remove one of our cards, because it won't affect either of these guys right now. If we were to have played anyone else, it would have. Like now, if they have a Scorch, they're going to remove their own card, so presumably they won't want to do that. So, also probably reason not to jump into playing these guys next, because if we played them both, then they would be tied for 10 apiece, and tied with this guy as well, so it would be a 3-way tie for the strongest units. They would theoretically still be comfortable playing one of those Scorches, because then it would remove one of their cards, yes, but it would remove 2 of ours, so we'd be losing more than they'd be losing. So I think we go with the typical strategy of starting with the weak cards, and then building up slowly, just in case they do have a Scorch. And that probably means we go melee this turn. The question is, do we save range for... Okay. Do we save range for round 2 or round 3? Now let's pay very close attention here. Our opponent has passed. So we just want to find the way to most efficiently surpass them here. So that means we need 7 strength. What is the best way to do that? If we play both these guys, then in terms of strength, it would be a lot of overkill, because it would be up to 34 at that point. And one of our Commander's Horns that we would have otherwise been using in the range row would no longer be relevant, so I don't think we want to do that. Even from a card standpoint, that would be best. We'd win with just 2 cards. But from a total strength standpoint, it would be a lot of overkill, like I said, so probably don't want to do that. I was looking at, could we say Medic and get back one of our other useful cards? The answer to that appears to be no. So I think what we do... I think what we do is we actually go with our melee setup in full. So we're going to play Vesemir here. He's not going to be enough by himself, unfortunately. And then we're going to have to Commander's Hornet. It will take both of those to pull it off, because remember, Commander's Horn, we could use it now, yes, but it will only double this guy. bringing us to 18. It won't double Roach here. So it's gonna take 2 turns. I think that is... Wait, let's just do some math here first. This would be 10 strength doubled to 20. Whereas this would be 20 strength doubled to 40. So this, going the double Dragon Hunters is more overkill than Vesemir and the Commander's Horn. So this is seemingly most efficient way, other than perhaps going with some of our siege cards, but that's another one that I want to make a point of saving for this last round here. We will draw another card, because that's what we do when we win a round as Northern Realms. We do still have 2 card advantage here, and we do gain a range card, which is actually good, because we were planning on holding out, saving range for this round here. And again, we probably want to start slow, deliberately play the weak cards. So that means either potentially even leading off with Commander's Horn. I think we do, actually. Let's play our range row, Commander's Horn. Next turn will be this guy. Then maybe we'll double siege. Yeah, okay, so already we're safe from a Scorch, because you far and away have the strongest card right now. So we can play almost anything here. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. You will become a 10, so you would be Scorchable. You'd be Scorchable. You would not. You would not, at least until we play both of you. So basically, the answer right now is Siege. Actually, let's go with... No, not you. Let's go you first, yeah. Okay, melee, we don't have any nerfs, so we can't really do much of anything to our opponent right now. We're kind of just at their mercy. If they load up in one row, no way of nerfing it. So, not these guys. Not you. Next is probably you. We don't have much to bring back with our medic at the moment. The answer is probably Vesemir. Unless our opponent does find a way to delete one of our cards. So for now, let's play one of these catapults. We don't play both of them, because if we were to do that, then they would double their strength, and suddenly we would have the strongest card, and we would be Scorchable. And we don't want that. Our opponent passes here, and in that case, it may in fact be the case that 1, 2 of their last cards, maybe even, were Scorch, and they wouldn't play them, because otherwise they'd be hurting themselves, and now we're just going to rub it in their faces that, hey, yeah, it would have been nice if you could have done that, wouldn't it have? Unfortunately, we saw it coming. Now we play these guys, same deal. They'll get doubled by having 2 of them in the same row, and also by having a Commander's Horn there. Then we'll throw you in as well. You'll also get doubled by the Commander's Horn. We'll use our leader ability, double the siege row, and then we'll throw you in here as well. Bring back Vesemir, and absolutely obliterate him. And with that...
I'll not play you anymore. Bad luck. Go ruin someone else.
Look on the bright side. Unlucky at cards, lucky in love.
Is that so? I believe we just made 50 coins off of that. Now, usually we also get a card for winning, but I don't think that was the case here. Hello? And you guys won't talk to us. We play the bandit?
Looking for someone else, what?
Nope. You guys? Maybe? You look similar to the person we just played. Except I'm not seeing your name showing up here, other than the fact that we can extinguish your flame as well. Might be that guy that we're talking to next in that case. Yeah, you guys just really don't want to talk to us.
You're itching for a bruising.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're next.
May I join you?
I've never seen you here before.
Okay, now we get the inquisitive one. Not this. Are we upfront about not having been here before? That's a little bit suspicious, I think. This is super suspicious. This is moderately suspicious, as is this, because it's like, if this is your first time here, sure, of course, there are probably people who are first-time customers, yes, but it does raise some suspicion as to, like, okay, well then, why are you here all of a sudden? So we could basically say we haven't seen you here either. Of course, the likely response to this is, well, I'm here every day. What are you talking about? That's strange. Clearly, you're not a regular. But I think it is still perhaps our best option.
Never seen you here either.
You've clearly no notion who I am. Don't be clever with me. We don't like clever men around here. How did you
Yeah.
even learn of this place?
That's a loaded question, too. Don't say this. And let me in.
Men at the door.
That's all you
let
need to
me
know.
in. Not good enough?
No. Preferable if someone vouched for you. Soon.
Oh, dear.
Until then, I'll have my eye on you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Absolutely do not say that. Just want to play you.
We done talking? I'd like to play.
All right. Take a seat.
Yeah, so perhaps could have gone a little bit better there. Like I said, I mean, you could have made a case for any and all those potential responses not being great. There was a counter to just about any of them. So I think, of course, this deck worked last time. Let's try it again here. They'll go first. Okay, we got Decoy. Good. Scorch. Good if we're careful. Torrential Rain for a Siege nerf. Arguable. Of course, we will almost always want to be playing Siege at some point. This is another one that the timing really matters. This is good in combination with Scorch because it means that we can bide our time a little bit, try to get our opponent to play some strong cards so that we're scorching them instead of us. Then lots in the Siege row. That's good. Does mean that not feeling great about this. This is a little bit concerning. I feel like we're going to have some trouble working that one in. War in the Siege row does mean we're going to have a really strong Siege round. But between Roach is another one who doesn't get affected by Scorch, so that's one card we can play before having to activate Scorch. Probably another, maybe even Zoltan. He's low enough that our opponent might play something higher than him. Decoy as well, if we can swap one of their spies. So basically we want to play weak cards for long enough that our opponent has one, if not multiple, high-value cards that we can remove with Scorch, and then we start playing our big ones. So that means having some low cards, like you, or cards that are unaffected by Scorch, like you. I think we have enough of those to pull this off. Hopefully. Our opponent plays first, which is actually a disadvantage here, because we get to react to how strong of a card they play. So they're already leading off with a 5. And they are monsters, notably. Monsters, remember, we've seen in the past, sometimes have cards that have, I believe it's called Muster, the ability that brings forward all of the cards from the deck, or maybe even the hand, of the same type. And so if they have a bunch of 5-strength cards that all have the same name and they muster them all together, then we could perhaps delete a whole bunch in one fell swoop, and that would be amazing. So, that's the dream. Maybe we try to hold out for that. So at least to start off here, let's play our weakest cards, and does mean Siege Expert. Oh, no, actually, let's lead off with Roach. I was going to say, we want to save Siege Expert for the round in which we're expecting to play our Siege cards, and we don't yet know if that's going to be this round, because that's the card. Or when we play the Siege cards, we're definitely going to want to try to win that round, because that's where all of our firepower is. Let's go Roach first. He's unaffected by Scorch, so we're still good in that sense. As will be that guy. At the moment, you're Scorchable, but no one else. Ideally, we'd want to wait it out a little bit longer. Problem is, that's easier said than done. Because, I mean, are we willing to throw you away and perhaps not be able to boost all of our other siege units with you? So you are 1 strength, but you give +1 to all their siege units, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So in total, you have 5 strength, which would ultimately double with our leader ability. Basically means you're more or less 10 strength, which is a lot. Wouldn't like to throw that away, but at the same time, if we weren't to do that, then we'd have to play Zoltan, because he's our next lowest card, and he has 5 strength, and then suddenly we're scorching our opponent and us simultaneously for the same value, and this isn't worthwhile at that point. Can't use Decoy, because Roach isn't affected by it, because he's a hero. So, I don't think we really have many options here. We might be playing to win this round. We're just going to have to time this really well. We might double next to buy 1 more turn. They pass. That was fast. I did not see that coming. Okay, so we could play Zoltan and be done with it. We could also Scorch and be done with it. Both of those would end in a victory. Scorch is kind of the safe route, because, like we were saying, there are situations in which this will hurt us more than it helps us. We know that this at least helps us a little bit if we play it now. Do we swing for the fences and deliberately save it in case our opponent does have any muster units? Let's go for it. Let's give it a shot. We'll play Zoltan. That'll be our way to win this round. We'll have 16 to their 15. Then we'll pass. We're one card down, yes, but we will draw a card because we're Northern Realms. That's what happens when we win. So we're equal in terms of the number of cards. Our opponent does keep a card, though. That's Monster's thing. So we could actually Scorch now, and that would delete this guy for sure, and that would be another safe way of using Scorch. If we want to get clever, we can use our leader ability now, which would double the siege row, but there's no one in the siege row to double, so at least for a turn, it gives us the ability to play nothing and not have any risk of removing our own cards with Scorch. We hope that our opponent either plays another 5 or an even higher value unit that we can also Scorch. So it means that we're definitely committing to this round, which is tough because we don't know what our opponent has up their sleeve. Let's give it a shot. Let's do it. We won round 1, so worst comes to worst, we play round 3 with basically top decking against our opponent. That is a muster card. So that is what we would have liked to have done. Yes. Okay, I was gonna say they were 4 strength, or at least the first one that he played was 4 strength. So I was thinking, oh, they're all gonna be 4 strength. It's not gonna matter. Not gonna make a difference. However, one of them did have 5 strength. The Vampire Catacan did have 5 strength. It does have 5 strength. So that does mean there are 2 5-strength cards. We could Scorch them both here. Is probably what we're going to want to do. I'm not sure. I mean, if we wait a little bit longer, yes, we might be able to get really clever and find a way to get rid of them. But we don't really have a way to take a turn without playing a card that would be the one that gets Scorched. Other than just outright wasting a decoy when there's nothing to use the decoy on. So I think we more or less have no options here but to do this. And it is better than it was last turn. So that was, yeah, what we were waiting for. Perhaps could have been a little bit better if we were somehow able to be more patient still. Oh. I would have said, well, if we waited one more turn, then we could have removed all these guys. But the cards that we just got rid of would have been doubled to 10 apiece, so it would have just done the same thing, remove them. So, functionally, I think still the same. Does mean that if our opponent has any Scorches, then we are definitely safe to play all of our 6-strength units. So, at least in the range and melee row, that is. These trebuchets are going to get doubled because we did play our Commander's Horn already. We could, however... Ooh. Tell you what I'm thinking. Our opponent's investing pretty heavily right now. We could deliberately pass here. Our opponent has played their Commander's Horn, both of their Commander's Horns. We, unfortunately, have still played ours as well. So we have a pretty decent advantage here with 6 cards remaining relative to our opponent's 4. But it... is it enough to be really confident that we'd be able to emerge victorious in round 3? Maybe. If we were to take that route, then I think we'd want to use the decoy and bring back Vesemir. Have as many cards as possible for round 3. I would really like to be able to double all these guys. Because that is a lot of strength that we're missing out if we can't use a Commander's Horn on them. I think we stick with this one. I think we do. And at the very least, our opponent only has 4 cards remaining, so we can... Okay, we can see just what they have up their sleeve, and once they've played all their cards, we can do the math, figure out, is it even possible for us to win? Is it not? And if not, then we'll use our decoy, bring back a card, and have a small card advantage for round 3, or well, they'll still use their monster ability to keep 1 card on the table, so it'll be close. It'll be close. The range nerf is not a huge deal, because that, of course, was our only range card, Death Mold here, so we could, again, have reasonable reason to use decoy to bring him back. But if they have a siege nerf, then that's probably reason to pass in and of itself. They're gonna decoy. Ooh. Interesting. Strange, because you need to win this round. It's not like you can get clever here and deliberately save cards. You're going to replay that. I suppose Decoy was just one of your 4 cards you had remaining. Kind of like what we have here. So, I don't think that changes anything for us. We're vulnerable to the Scorch, yes. They have it. And they just replayed it. Presumably they don't have anyone else to muster, because they've already done that when they played one of those cards initially. And they have a slight lead, but that's about to change here. If they Scorch, we are absolutely toast for this round, at least, of course. And there it is. There it is. We didn't have any choice. We had to play those cards, of course. Only way to avoid that would have been to say pass, if we knew it was coming. And so we definitely want to play the Decoy on this occasion to get back one of our cards. It's a question of which one do we prefer. I think Death Mold, on the assumption that they probably don't have 2 range nerfs. We'll give them this round. Presumably they will pass here, or play their last card. Okay, I mean, wasn't really doing much of anything. But you could have saved it for the next round. And for this one... Oh, I mean, I guess we didn't pass yet, but we were going to pass. Yes. They will keep a card down here, because that's what monsters do. But they're out of cards, so that's all they have. So that means we have definitely won here. Death Mold is enough, and then we can throw in the Catapult. Just to add insult to injury, and there we have it. Alright, so remember this guy was giving us quite a bit of attitude. So he may follow up with some more after completing this match. Geralt? Oh.
Don't you think I know that?
Want a rematch?
What with? You've left me high and dry. I'll not bet half a crown more.
Is that so? I'm sorry. So smug. Oh, okay, hold on.
Get in good hands.
Luck of the draw today.
You might make better use of that luck then. We've a room for specially selected upstairs.
Is that so?
Really big stakes there.
I mean, we did kind of see what happens up there, just based on how, you know, there was, like, blood. So, not sure that you are exactly all that friendly to people who win. So, maybe we drew a little bit too much attention to ourselves by winning, to tell you the truth. Could perhaps be reason to say no, but at the same time, this is our way to get in with the big guys without actually having to ask to see the person who runs the place. So, I think this is what we're waiting for.
If that's the case, I accept the invitation.
Might have been a way to be a little more subtle about it. But at the same time, I think we still achieved our objective.
Private room for the chosen few. No one will disturb you here.
Okay. Looks like an interrogation room. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah. Maybe we were just a little too successful. I mean, isn't that basically what happens in every gambling movie, right? The protagonist finds a way to cheat the system and beat everybody, and then suddenly draws a bunch of attention because they're like, okay, who is the person who keeps on beating the house here? We're gonna go broke. Someone needs to deal with this guy. I mean, they're making money off of us failing, right? Well, I mean, at least on this occasion, we're betting against the other person, not the house, but anyways, you know what I mean. So, I think we still want to go as long as possible without mentioning Junior by name. This is obviously not the most innocent of things to say, but still, better of the two options, I think.
Might take it for an interrogation room.
Junior doesn't believe in miracles.
Hmm? What do you mean?
This is where cheats learn just how much he dislikes being robbed.
Gotcha. Yep.
Work him over. Once
That's
you're
exactly
done,
what
wrap
happened.
a nice thick chain around his legs and drop him in the pong tar.
Oh. We're gonna have to find our way out of this? Yep. Oh, that's a dealer, actually. Yeah, so I'm curious what would have happened then, had we not won out. Or if we had, perhaps, been a little more subtle with the guy that we just played. Can we maybe turn it? Because, I mean, we were subtle for a while, yes, but perhaps not long enough.
You have to death. Hey, can you hear me?
Well, we did get to this guy. Oh, that's a lot of Fizztech. That's a lot of Fizztech. Hold on just a second. We'll be with you in a minute here. I know you're all locked up and whatnot. Oh, list of debtors. Okay, that might be helpful. Hold on. Aldebert Zimmer. Win Huys. Lettuce Philace. Sycamore Prokop. Rico. Mortimer Schwindel. Stan de Grace. Aardvark Van der Baltimore. Don't recognize any of those names. Not sure that's going to be of any use to us. So I'm hoping this guy is useful to us, in our purpose here, and that we didn't just blow our cover and never get anything out of this, despite being somewhat stealthy. I mean, we could have, yeah, like I said, been a little stealthier had we perhaps just lost everything.
You alive?
Don't finish me.
Don't intend
No
to.
intention, yeah.
Shit, those cocksuckers got me good.
Bones are intact.
Will you free me?
I mean, let's chat, but yeah, sure.
You're not hurt all that bad. Let's talk first. Why are you here?
What's it look like? Came here to sit and think.
That's not
All
true.
right. Clever and tough's not working for me.
No.
They took me for one of Bedlam's moles.
Okay.
Are you?
That being the king of thieves.
Well, kinda. Yeah.
So what have you kinda learned?
Okay.
Paulson's working hand in glove with the Redanians.
Oh!
I don't know the details, but he's on their side. And that's all I know.
You sure about that? That's very useful information, yes. Redanians, obviously, they're also trying to get a bit of a foothold in this area. But something tells me you do know more. On one hand, we could tell you to run, and you're probably more likely to live, and perhaps long in the future we might have the chance of getting more information out of you, but also certainly the chance that we'd never see you again. If we ask you to stay a while, I would reckon more likely that someone comes here, interrupts us, and perhaps takes you out. But we might be able to eke out a little bit more information. So short term, I think this is the answer. Long term, this is, or at least maybe the answer. This seems like the high risk, high return. This seems like the safer option. Let's try this one.
Don't trust you an inch.
Told you all I know. I swear.
You'll have to stay a bit longer.
No, please. Think about it. It's not too late. Hear me?
Dijkstra knows Junior's made a deal with the Redanians.
Okay. So he seems to not be budging in that case. Or we could. Well, he's Rico. Ah, and we did see his name on the list of debtors. Okay. So it does seem as though he's truly...
Change your mind.
Huh? Was thinking about not telling us anymore. Even if we said you have to stay a while. Let's
Don't
read our
trust
quest
you
for a
an
second
inch.
here.
Told you all I know. I swear.
You'll have to stay a bit longer.
Because Garrett was saying that he was
No,
wondering if
please.
Dijkstra knows about him.
Think about it. It's not too late. Hear me?
So maybe we could go back, talk to Dijkstra, let him know about this connection here, and then try to come back to this guy. But that being said, if we leave this guy here, all tied up, and go to talk to Dijkstra in the meantime, there is a less than 1% chance this guy is alive and able to talk to us when we come back. He's almost positively going to be dead, right? So, I think for that reason, let's free him now, then we'll let Dijkstra know, and maybe also check out the other areas, see if we can get more information.
Change your mind.
So on one hand, the ideal scenario would be, of course, like I said, go over, talk to Dijkstra, get more information from him, let him know that, hey, there's some kind of partnership between Junior and the Redanians, and maybe that might give us some more information with which to interrogate this guy, but I think that's wishful thinking. There's, like I said, basically 0% chance
Take
that he
care of
lasts.
yourself.
So I think for that reason, we let him go.
I'll lay low until things settle down.
Exactly.
Bedlam will learn you helped me. See him. He's sure to reward you.
Alright. Don't die. That's all I ask. New quest, Honor Among Thieves. Have to check in the King of the Beggars, probably. And is that a side quest, technically? Might be. Honor Among Thieves, yeah. Collect a reward from the King of Beggars for freeing Rico. Level 9, which suggests that maybe it's not just as simple and straightforward as having a quick chat and being done with it. But, interesting. Okay, so yeah. I'm hoping that pays off, that we chose to go that route. Question here that I have now would be, at least with the main quest, do we go to the arena and the hideout first, or do we check in with Cheekstra first? It may not matter. Obviously, we have some information that would be useful for him right now. But is it better to get all the information at once, then report back? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking the earlier we relay this to him, the better. Maybe, while this is fresh in our minds, let's talk to the King of Beggars. Then we'll go, and we'll talk to Cheekstra once more. I think that's, at least as of right now, what I'm thinking is perhaps the best order of operations. So, yeah, you know, the blood on the ground did perhaps give this room away a little bit. I am curious as to whether anyone down here will still... Oh, here we go. Will still play us. Here, we'll do some stuff over here. We'll distract some people. And then head out. We'll also heal up. Oh, you actually want to fight us. You were completely ignoring us at first. That was strange. We actually said hello. And you did nothing. And as soon as we took a step forward, you're like, oh, hold on. That's the guy we're looking for, isn't it? Yeah, so the subtlety certainly went out the window eventually. But I'm hoping that ultimately the information we got out of Rico will prove useful enough. I think that was pretty big. Maybe even winning some brownie points with the King of Beggars. That could pay off as well, certainly. He's an important guy around here, too. Alright, Rico. Coast may be clear now. Oh, hold on. No, it's not. It's not. Is that so now? Is that so? Now tell me, how did that work out for you? Go on. Yeah, go on. Saying you're gonna slay us, I believe? Okay. Now I believe the coast is clear. We can loot stuff. Maybe even talk to Rico. Not sure if we... Yep. Make a run for it, dude. Make a run for it. But also fly low. We might even be able to pick up some of the junk weapons, sell those, because I think we increased our carrying capacity somewhat recently. That might be a little more doable now than it was previously. This stuff is not going to sell for much. But King of Beggars, I think, does have a shopkeeper in his area. So that's maybe not out of the question. Okay. Looks like that's an interesting position in which you find yourself. But let's head out now. Oh, still hit you? Same deal. Suppose we'll take it? Yeah, so Junior's probably not going to be too happy with us, of course. But it seemed like that was in some ways already the case. Even a shopkeeper over here. This, I'm pretty sure, is the guy who just sells junk.
Ah, I see the honourable gentleman is not one to let a bargain pass.
Definitely played you at Gwent already, yes.
Fine. Show me what you got.
Probably not going to be anything that we want to buy from you.
Something for everyone. Seek and you shall find. Cheap, too.
Yeah, because you sell junk. Like, quite literally. Junk. And a lot of it, at that. So, however, I mean, we could make a profit, or we could at least make slightly more if we were to, say, sell these things to specialists, yes, but at the same time, they cost 15 coins. So, I mean, we're not super hard-pressed for carrying capacity right now. So we could theoretically hold on to them slightly longer, but I'm not sure that's really going to make a huge difference. I think let's just sell them now. This guy doesn't have a lot of coins either. So we'll just dump them. The bigger stuff that I'm more concerned about, making sure that we're min-maxing to that extent. And the shirts, I think, are, in some cases, actually crafting materials for, well, making other stronger chest plates. But we've seen our fair share of them, and this guy actually can't afford any more of them. So for that reason, we will perhaps just hang on to the ones we have right now. Could sell these. They're actually slightly better in terms of armor than our current pair, but current pair of trousers has vitality and other resistances, so I think that probably still prefer what we have right now. So let's sell this too, because you can afford that. Then we are leaving you with precisely 1 coin, 1 crown.
Thanks.
Come again. Cheap as it gets right here.
Okay. So, yeah, let's go to the King of Beggars. I'm assuming he's in his usual area. We've, of course, seen him around town a little bit in the meantime. And, like we were saying before, it seems like there's definitely a non-zero chance that things are not as simple as just saying, hi, hello. We did you a favor, please pay. I think there's gonna be a bit more than that. We'll have to see just exactly how it plays out, though. Actually, all the shopkeepers over here, seemingly. Didn't remember there being one over here, though. Oh.
You're the only one who's made a mistake.
Oh.
Step up some crowds. Quick.
Hello? Looks like you are getting mugged. Might I intervene?
Leave him alone.
And who might you be? Temple guard undercover?
Then, sure. At least I tried. A concerned citizen.
Call me an admirer of law and order.
Made a mistake coming to this town,
I
You're
mean, that's
making a
probably
mistake.
true.
Leave him alone.
then. And if we don't?
It's just not worth it, man. Really. Don't bother.
This man's not worth your efforts. His shop's drowning in debt.
You're right. Even looks like a pauper.
I beg to differ.
How dare you
Even
say
though
such a
I
thing?
bothered the bugger. My apologies, and fare thee well.
I, gotta go brush my teeth.
Really? Someone tells me that's the first time
Go
we've done that
home,
in a couple of
merchant,
years.
And try not to come around here anymore.
I will. I mean, I won't. I mean, both, yes. Thank you, sir.
Both. Oh, okay.
Knackered.
Is that so? Okay. Notably, although there was an exclamation point here, indicating that there was a quest, and obviously that seemed to have been a small quest of sorts, didn't get any quest updates from that, which suggests maybe we'll see some kind of follow-up on a future occasion. Are you one of the guys who's just mugging that guy? Possibly. Okay. So, let's head back in this direction toward the King of Beggars. And it's through... is it this way? Oh, hello. If so, then sorry, we may or may not be taking out some of your people here, King of Beggars. I was gonna say, we probably could have just finished them off with an Igni, but... the chicken and the maces will pay off for the tiny bit of weapon durability we had to use to take these guys out, right? Okay, so in theory... it's actually on the other side of this, so I think we need to go around. Remember where the door with the secret password was. Was it this? No. A little further?
As long as the damn don't make me sick.
Here. Yes.
Open up.
Oh, okay. No password necessary this time. So now we will sell stuff to you.
What are you offering?
Okay. And so, once more, I think, again, not a specialist, but just to get rid of our junk here that would ultimately be pretty low value stuff. I think we do want to get rid of that more or less as soon as we can and save the big things for the specialists. This is... Okay, I was going to say this one is potentially a decent weapon upgrade here, but I'm pretty sure we were looking at this previously. Yes, the raw damage is higher, but it has less armor piercing, and therefore maybe the wolf is still better. But at the very least, let's sell this. I think that's definitely still worse. It's slightly more damage, but a fair bit less armor piercing. Other swords here, like these guys, these are the type of ones that we want to make a point to sell into the specialists. Ones that are worth in the triple digits. The other things here, like the shirts. Now we can get rid of some of those. Boots, maybe even those. These are pretty terrible. As are those. These ones also not great. In either case. Well, those hunting boots are... They're level 12. If they were a little bit higher level, then they might be comparable to our assassin's boots, but I think they're still, because they're a lower level, always going to be worse even if we repair them. Worth only 18 coins, so yeah, I think we still dump them. These are not worth much, but they're medium armor, so they do have decent resistances, even if they're low level. Yeah, but that minus 12 armor, I think, is going to be pretty hard to work around. So I think we dump that as well. And then we'll save some of that slightly bigger stuff for the specialists. Could get rid of this now. Pains me a bit, because we used it for a while. Minus 19 armor. It's pretty beat up, yes. But our current armor is level 13. And this is medium, so it has the additional resistances, yes, but that's partially because it's a heavier armor. At least heavier than the current one we have. Obviously, it's not heavy, in quotes, armor. But, yeah, also it gives us 6 weight if we get rid of this now. So that means more stuff that we can pick up, a lot more stuff at that. So, yeah. I think we save the other bigger ticket items for the specialists, and then that means that we've gotten rid of most of this guy's coins here, so we've taken advantage of having him. Whoa! Okay, I was gonna say, those look like really good saddlebags, but that is the kind we have, so no big deal. We're already there. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. We could maybe even sell things like our vials are pretty worthless. Just some of our junk, basically. Stuff that is of no value to specialists. White wolf hide, we could get rid of one of these, and it does weigh a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. There we go. Now we're done with you.
See you.
Now let's talk to Mr. King of Beggars, and I don't know, is he gonna be happy that we freed Rico? Is this actually someone that he's been looking to get back, or is he truthfully his worst worker ever, and he's only gonna backstab us now that he's on the loose? We might be about to find out.
Aye.
So, have we asked you about this? It is grayed out, but is this just like a side question type of thing?
Work with mages often?
My, aren't you curious? You yourself looking for work, perhaps?
Yeah, a little bit.
I just know them. Usually not all that willing to get their hands dirty.
Don't know 'em well, then.
Yeah,
A
lots of
handy,
sorceresses.
hungry mage
That's
is
very
desperate
dirty.
as any man. Not about to be fussy when taking on work. Novigrad's a city of opportunities. Chances to be seized. You should grab one too.
Thanks. I guess we haven't asked him about that before, because that is more gray now than it was before. This is a big one, though.
Should pick your men more carefully. Rico blew his cover like a novice.
Yeah, he told me. And I told him to leave town. Most likely promised I'd reward you, didn't he?
So he said.
Take it.
Oh. Really seemed like you weren't about to go in that direction. But Okay. Oh, maybe the... Oh, also a weapon. Okay, I was gonna say... And armor. I was gonna say 5 coins is not really much. And that quest is done. I'm guessing that the level requirement that we saw in that quest was based on the enemies that we had to fight on our way out of that casino.